Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. Today we are going to be ranking the top 10 characters of 2021 of the Simpsons Tapped Out. Now, this list, I'm still not like 100% happy with it. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something, or I feel like I've got it in the wrong order or something. I've been changing it every day pretty much since I initially wrote it out, and yeah, I don't know. It's something about it. It honestly, if I'm gonna be like really brutally honest with you, I generally think all the characters this year, there's not really been a really standout character this year for me. There hasn't been one that's like really wowed me away. And so the sort of top three I have on this list, they're all good characters, but none of them feel sort of amazing, if you know what I mean. Like none of them kind of blow me out of the water. So yeah, I'm a little iffy on it as a whole on the whole list, but we'll have to see. Hopefully you agree somewhat with it. If you don't, that's cool. Just tell me your list down below, I guess. So we're going to get into it with number 10. Actually, before we do number 10, I'm going to do some honorable mentions like I normally do. Just some ones that I couldn't quite put on this list, but I definitely do want to talk about because I do think they were good characters. So let's go through the honorable mentions, the first of which is Brenda. Not a terrible character. I think she's pretty cool. She's got okay animations. The building she comes with makes no sense, and her questline was a bit of a letdown, so that's the main reason why I've not put her on the list. But I do think she is a pretty solid premium character. No idea why she ended up in the worst characters of the year award thingy. I apologise. It wasn't my fault that she ended up there. But I quite liked Brenda. So enough to give her an honourable mention. Not enough to put her on the list, but definitely one to say, yeah, she was okay. Mrs. Frink is the next honourable mention. Pretty happy enough with her. I think she was pretty cool. I like the fact that they took like an obscure character and they basically said, yeah, this is Mrs. Frink, by the way, and kind of gave her some, quest line and a bit of a story. And she appears like throughout the whole year as well. So, yeah, I feel really bad not putting her on the list. I feel like she should be like a number 10 or let's just say she's 11, all right? She's my number 11. She is pretty cool. So, yeah, Mrs. Frink's my next honorable mention. Frink Jr. is next up. I think he's also pretty cool to get. At least the fact that he's like Frink's son. I will say he's a bit bland. I wouldn't say he was like anything amazing, but he was free. It's cool to get like a character's son in the game, and I think what they did with him for the most part was okay. A little bland, but hey, that's why he's an honourable mention and not on the top 10 list. Tab Spangler, I personally just find his animations a bit boring, so I can't put him on the list, although I do think he's a pretty cool free character to get. I think the quest line could have been better as well. I don't know, there's just something about this character, to me, it's just not interesting. I can understand if you guys like him, I get the love for him, but for me, his animations were a bit boring. I really wanted an animation on that chariot, and we didn't get one, so yeah, not too massively keen on him, but he definitely is cool enough to give an honourable mention to. The whole New Year, New You update was great. I mean, all the characters were at least good, so that's a good thing to, at the very least to acknowledge. But can't put him any higher. He's just an honourable mention. That is Tab Spangler. Ian, okay, he's an honourable mention because if this guy was not super premium, if he was not so much money to obtain, I would probably say he was the best character of the year. Actually, no, for sure. He's the best character of the year. But because he's super premium, I kind of can't do that. Part of me kind of wants to anyway, but nah, I'd be lying to myself. It annoys the hell out of me so much that he costs so much money. He is cool though. Like his animations are great. His quest line was pretty decent. He's a really, really solid character overall. And so I do wish he wasn't super premium because he would be the best character of the year. He would be the standout character for me. But unfortunately, I can't put him any higher than an honorable mention. But at the very least, I don't feel safe, or I don't really want to put him on the worst list. Like, despite the price is the only thing that I hate about him, and I don't think that's enough to necessarily put a character on the worst list. So for me, he is just going on the honourable mentions for the best list, which I think is fair. Mary Tannenbaum, Honestly, the only reason why I'm giving her an honorable mention is purely just because she has like a really, really good quest line. I think her quest line was probably the best of the year, even better than Ian's for me. I think it was just a really fun quest line overall, and that's not enough to put a character on the top 10 list, but at the very least I want to give her an honorable mention for having this year's best quest line. So that's Mary Tannenbaum. Anyway, now we're going to get into the actual top 10s. All the honorable mentions I've done with. So let's get in with number 10. And number 10 is Wolf the Bounty Hunter. So we've got Wolf the Bounty Hunter. I kind of wanted to put him a little higher, but I think 10 is probably fair for him. He's pretty cool. He's got voice. He's got some really awesome animations. I think his questline is fairly decent. And yeah, overall, I think he's a great character to get. He obviously makes sense for the update he was added in. He fitted in quite nicely. He was premium, which obviously is a bit of a downgrade, or it's a negative thing against him because, you know, we prefer free characters, but he's like not overpriced or anything. He's the common 150 bundle, which I think is fair. Yeah, just a really cool character overall. I personally liked him. I was really happy to get him. I wanted him for a while, so it's cool to get. He is like a bit of a lazy parody character if you want, but I think they make up for it with the questline they did. So yeah, I liked him a lot. That's Wolf the Bounty Hunter, number 10. Number 9 is Herb Tannenbaum. So, despite him having a raccoon animation, which really annoys me because, oh my god, they have overdone the raccoon animations, I do really like what they did with Herb Tannenbaum. I think he kind of acted as almost, not like he didn't really lead the Christmas Whodunit event necessarily, but he did act as like a big key part of that update. And so for that reason, I kind of commend his inclusion a lot. It makes sense. Obviously, he is a Treehouse of Horror character, technically, but obviously he's a big Christmas tree, so it makes sense. Yeah, I like what they did with him in terms of the actual main quest line. I think his actual own personal quest line's okay. I think he does have one fine animation. I think his animations are just okay. I don't think they're anything amazing. So I think number 9 is a fair place for him to go. Yeah, I just really appreciated his inclusion. I think he served quite well for the update, so yeah, that's Herb Tannenbaum as number 9. Number 8 is, this one might be a bit controversial because I probably wouldn't have said this a few months back, but number 8 is Colette. Now, I feel like a lot of people kind of feel like she's a bit bland of a character, or she's not very interesting. I kind of like agree, but then I disagree at the same time. I think I've been missing a character like this. You know, just someone who's quite average, you know? She's just a barmaid, that's all she is. She's not a talking Christmas tree. She's not a sentient statue. She's not a character from another multiverse or another universe, you know? She's just a barmaid, okay? And part of me likes that. I like the fact as well, you know, she is from the Flaming Moe episode. Everyone remembers Colette. I remember Colette. I remember how so many people wanted Colette in the game. Everyone seemed to think she was the bee's knees. And I always kind of thought, well, she's not really that anything special. But you know what? I actually kind of low-key think I can appreciate her a lot. I think her animations are okay. The two ones that she has, I think they, you know, make sense for her. I wouldn't want anything too crazy. Like, it'd make no sense if she had something, like, insane, like, I don't know, like, dive into a 50-foot beer bottle or something like that. She just has simple kind of barmaiding. She has animations that make sense to her career, or at least the career we see her have in the Flaming Moe episode. Yeah, her quest line isn't great, I will say that. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I think she is a pretty cool character. Wish they did a bit more with her and Mo, but apart from that, I like Colette a lot. And I think number 8 is fair. It's not unreasonable. It's a fair placement for her. So, that's Colette at number 8. Sentient Lord Lad statue. Yeah, I think this is a fair enough point for him. I can't really put him any higher. Sorry. I like him, don't get me wrong, but I do think his animations were not what we all really wanted. I think they just should have been a bit more, you know, they should have had a bit more motion to them. And I think his questline was okay for the most part, but just his animations were a bit dull is all. I wish they were a bit more bit better, basically. Well, I don't think they were like terrible. There were some good. They were fine, but I really wanted one of him, you know, destroying the city or like throwing his big donut or something like that. You know, like actually causing destruction. I think he's scaled fine. A couple of people say he should be scaled a bit bigger. It's always difficult because everything is so broken in terms of the scale anyway, so part of me doesn't really take that into account anymore. Sometimes I do, though. I don't know, if something's scaled ridiculous, we're beyond belief, but for me, I don't think he's scaled, like, ridiculously small. I think he's a fine enough size. I think his involvement in the whole event was a bit loose as well, so I think there's a few negative things, but I do think he looks cool. I think I appreciate the character a lot. I like at least one of his animations, and yeah, I think he's fine. But for me, he's not the best. I know you guys voted him as the best in the Tapped Out Awards, but I can't put him any higher than this, and I think this is being very generous. So, Sentient Lard Lad Statue, number 7. Anime Homer, I think this is just such a fun character. Great animations. He's got voice, pretty decent quest line. A lot of fun. I think all the Simpsons verse characters were a lot of fun, and people might roll their eyes and say, "Oh, this is a doppelganger." I don't care. I think he's a very awesome doppelganger. I don't think that doppelganger necessarily has to mean, oh, that's a bad character or that's a shit character. Doppelganger can't mean that, because there are some good doppelgangers, you know? Like Anime Homer, right here. And there's others as well, like Guy Incognito is a really great character. You could argue he's a doppelganger. I know that he's technically is a separate character, but then if you really want to say that, then technically the, you know, Queen Gautama and Gautama, or whatever, how you say it, Gautama, and Skid Martha, they're all separate characters too, technically. But, you know, Anime Homer, I found him really cool. Like I said, love his animations, love the character. Yeah, he's premium. I think he's a great premium character, though. But, yeah, there's just characters I prefer a bit more than him. So, he's going to go here. And I think that's a fair placement for him. So, that is number 6. Anime Homer. Titania, number 5. Okay, now, some people, again, might be a bit mad because this is a Gilsdale character, and the Gilsdale characters are normally quite pricey. Titania, with, of course, knockers, cost 199 donuts, which is a fair price. I say fair price. It's a bit of a hefty price, but I really wanted Titania in the game, and do you know what? I think she delivered. She's got some pretty cool animations. I really like the one with her throwing out the drunks or whatever it is, well, throwing them out. That's pretty cool. I like her questline for the most part. It's okay. It's fine. And she comes with a great building. And she looks, she looks pretty cool. No, I think she's a cool enough character. I liked her a lot. So, yeah, I was happy enough with her. I think she was definitely a highlight in the Love and War update. So, I gotta give her some credit. Yeah, I liked her. That's number 5. Not really much more to say. Titania. Speaking of Gil's characters, we've got the Master. So, yeah, the Master is also very pricey. Again, 200 donuts. He's one more donut than Titania. Oh, God. But I really liked his animations. I think the questline's okay. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I think it was fine. And he's got voice, which is awesome. I just think he's all-round just a really cool character. He looks awesome. You know, he looks very godly. Yeah, he was just really interesting. So, and it was very odd that they actually added him. I didn't expect them to actually end up adding him whatsoever after he wasn't added with the, you know, Quickie-Mart CEO, well, the HQ on the mountain. So, yeah, he was one I was very pleased to get. Really liked him. Really liked his inclusion in the event. I think it was a bit loose, but it made sense, I guess. And yeah, cool animations. I like the character. Not really much more to say, sorry. Noir Homer, number 3. Okay, I can understand if some people put this guy as number 1, because I considered it briefly. I think he was a great start to into the Simpsons verse event. He has voice, unique voice, obviously. I know it is just Homer, but you know, it's unique. He has pretty cool animations, but just for me, ever so slightly, I couldn't quite put him any higher. There's the one animation with the guy and the money and all that. I don't know, it's not for me, but I do think he is a very, very solid character. Great quest line, pretty decent animations. I do think he was, very important for the event. He kind of started the event up. And so, for that reason, I love the character a lot. But there's just 2 characters that I have to put a little bit above him. But definitely love this guy, Noir Homer. Number 3, yeah, he a doppelganger. But you know what? He's a good doppelganger. I like doppelgangers. Doppelgangers were too much last year, but there were some good ones, and Noir Homer is definitely one of the good ones, alright? He's a good doppelganger. Leave him alone. So that's number 2, Noir Homer. Sorry, number 3, Noir Homer. Number 2 is besties, Muncho. Really love this guy a lot. Such a real fun character. Great animations. You got the cruising and showing off one, which is very cool. And you have the posing for the press, which I really like as well. I like how you can actually see him transform. That's just such a cool animation. There's not really much more to say. He's free as well, which is an added bonus, just like Noir Homer was as well. So that's very cool. Pretty decent quest line. Just a real fun character. Not really much more to say. I really love the animations. That's all I got really. Number 2, Bestiest Muncho. I mean, when there's a character that's so good, it's really hard. I don't have much to say. I really struggle with these videos sometimes. It often just comes down to just my opinion. But anyway, let's get on to number 1. Can we have that drum roll, please? Number 1 is Princess Homer. So yeah, I feel like most people won't agree with me on this one. Maybe I will have some people who do agree with me. But I'll just sort of lay out the reasons why I went with Princess Homer as the best character of the year. 1, I really appreciate the animations. I think they've kind of captured the kind of what the character is meant to be parodying. Obviously, this is meant to be like a Disney princess parody character, but it's as Homer. And I think both the animations do that justice. You have the one with the dress where Homer's trying to, Princess Homer, she's trying to create her dress, and I think that one works out pretty well. And then you have the other one with the communicating with birds. I think that one, I really appreciate that a lot as well, and I think it looks pretty cool. It's just a simple enough, cool enough animation, her running away from them and all that. So Princess Homer, I like both the animations. Questline wise, I think it was decent enough. I don't think it's the best questline of the year, obviously. I still think that goes to Mary Tannenbaum, but still an okay questline. And on top of that, she's free, which is awesome. Now, I wish she did play a bit of a bigger role in the Into the Simpsons verse, but after she gets added, she does play a reasonable enough role, so it makes sense. Do kind of wish she led the event a little bit more, just because I think she's the standout character from that episode, but I think she was translated very well to the game. I really appreciate all of her, her questline, and I appreciate her animations. I like this character a lot. I just think she's really cool, and that's why I'm going with her as number 1. But like I said before, I generally just feel like no character really stood out. Even putting Princess Homer as number 1, to me, just doesn't feel right. It feels wrong. I feel like there should be another character that's here. But Bestiest Muncho, I prefer Princess Homer to Bestiest Muncho. I prefer Princess Homer to Noir Homer, to the Master, to Titania, to Anime Homer, to the Sentient Lad, to Colette, to Herb, to Wolf the Bounty Hunter, to Mary Tannenbaum, to Ian. All these characters that I've mentioned, I prefer her to all of them. So I guess that makes her number 1. So there you have it. That's my list. Probably going to be a lot of people who disagree with me. I just find this list incredibly hard. Like I said, no standout characters this year really for me. So tell me your thoughts. Which one do you think is the best character of the year? Maybe give me your top 5, give me your top 3, and if you can, give me a top 10. I'd love to see it. And stay tuned, I guess, for top 10 worst, probably next. We'll do top 10 worst characters. That list I feel a bit more confident about. I'm pretty confident with that list. There's a lot of bad characters to talk about. So, let's wrap it up here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.